This is stupid. No, vagina is DNA crap. That's the DNA talking. All right? It has nothing to do with the rationality. Has nothing to do with the goddamn truth. It's a biological function, okay? Period. And you can either be a slave to the biology, or you can be a slave and a servant to the fucking truth. You choose. I'll choose the honor of serving the truth. So, fuck you. Hand-wringing. Yeah, penny, fable-chasing, fairy godmother-kissing bitch. Alright, anyway. Alright, now on to Karina's video. See a strong woman here, Karina, making a hard, logical, clinical argument. No mushy bullshit. No, the Gaia ass, even though she is a little bit. But anyway. So yeah, it's a deterministic universe. We're all part of a flow of time and progression, and we have these life experiences that dictate what we are. And it's even more crude in terms of, I would argue, that we're all just reflexes. We're all dispositions. It's all subroutines. Right? We're not even a consolidated, solid thing. We're just made up of a bunch of little source pods. We're a colony. We're not our thoughts, our brain, our identity, our personality is the byproduct of colony, not individual, cohesive. So yeah, we're just reflexes, and each one of us has a reflexive reaction to the world as we live it, and we have a personal experience. So when somebody says the word red, you have a series of connections, associations that come up in your head that'll be different than the associations that come up in my head, because I've had a different life experience. And also, our emotional life is so different. And we have emotional routines running all the time. So my point is that there's more than one train. You don't have a train of thought. You have a bunch of trains all running around inside of your head. And some of them are habitual track hogs. You know, they just keep cycling. They're really dominant. And those are our neurotic little emotional attachments. The ideas we're attached to, pessimistic or optimistic. Let's see, the defiance of our ego, what makes us feel good about ourselves, what we're going to be defensive about. So all that emotional trains are running on the same tracks that the truth has to run through, where our logic works. And there's all kinds of collisions, all kinds of times where our emotional train smashes into the truth and says, damn it, I don't like that truth. Let's reform it. Let's rationalize, let's contrive some bullshit. Because I have to make the truth run the same way I'm running. It has to go the same direction as the emotional train is running. And so there's all kinds of traps like that in our brain. All kinds of collisions, all kinds of collateral damage that's done to the truth. Because we have... it's not a purely arrangement of track layout. We have defective and dysfunctional circular tracks. Tracks that go uphill and never come down, or I don't know how to put it, but convoluted, twisty, turny, upside down bullshit. And yeah, over time we are filtering a lot of crap out of our brains. Stupid notions. The hobgoblin is dead. The ether is dead. Even the devil is dying. We're cleansing ourselves of bullshit over time. Our word associations are becoming more and more logical and coherent because of the demands the truth imposes, the practical fact that the truth does reveal itself, and it imposes itself eventually. It becomes undeniable. You can't squirm around it anymore. The track gets cast in cement as a meme, and you can't do anything about that. And but that's it. That's the difference between me and you. It's just that a few of these tracks are laid out differently because of life experience. If you'd never see the man behind the curtain, and all you see is the flaming Oz, yeah, you're going to live a different life. And so it's really, in comparison and competition with each other, what we're hoping to glean out of this is some understanding of which set of reflexes, what's the right reflex, what's the most rational, appropriate, logical reaction to have, because there is such a thing as more accurate and less accurate. And we've got to be in the business of improving accuracy in how we react, how we associate concepts and verbiage. Something like that anyway. So anyway, I had notes, didn't really follow them. But anyway, sorry. There might be more add-on. I'll read the notes after.
The other camera's full.
Yours. Anyway, so sorry about the sound quality difference, volume and such, but whatever. I'm not going to do extensive editing and all that nonsense. So anyway, getting back to the problem. with certain people not wanting to get serious about the truth. And look, Fred's video, he made it clear that you can do both. You can be depressed some days, you can be apathetic some days you can feel futile, and other days you can feel energized, and you can have energy for the fight. And there's all kinds of ways to approach the problem, and mindsets that will motivate you to approach the problem. And it's just nonsense to say, well, you can't carry around the true context. You can't take the rose-colored glasses all the way off. That's verboten, because somehow that will disable you. And it's a pile of crap. It will motivate you. It'll keep you in the game, keep you willing to fight, because you'll be able to see just how bad it really is, and just how important that something be done to interrupt this flow it has, this circle of life crapola that you phantasmagorical Gaia lunatics run on. The fact is, the maze game is broken at its core. It has no initiator, okay? No rational purpose. And then on top of that lack of purpose and intent, it has no rational guidance, okay? It's a consumption and reproduction machine. Of course it made a mess. Come on. It'd be illogical to expect anything else. It just is. Slugs don't write symphonies, and nature is as dumb as a slug. But like I said, that's not consistent with the cute demand they're placing on things. They refuse to let go because they have to validate and perhaps rationalize their own participation, what they've done. Look, you're a play creator. You procreate, you have kids, you've played creator, you've built the game, essentially. You have to take responsibility for it. And they don't want to take responsibility for a game that's insidious and broken. So they're going to keep pretending that if you pad it with enough styrofoam, if you put enough plastic and you glue enough crap on it, get your little hot glue gun out and put enough sequins on it and shiny sparklies, that somehow you'll turn this dumb, stupid, idiotic game into something that makes sense to somebody. But it's only going to make sense to people who are going to be fooled by little sparklies, little glued-on facade crap. Because you can't fix the core of the game. And you think that somehow if you create a bunch of fanny-packing, DNA stroking, whatever, guy humans, that somehow you're going to live in some little paradise, and that's a pile of crap. Because it's not the nature of the beast, it's not how we're made, and you're just daydreaming. It's not even a daydream, it's a nightmare. Well, certainly my nightmare. One of them. But it's just bullshit to say that unless you come with a counter-argument explaining why the maze does make sense, why the maze on its own, without your glued-on propaganda, is got some sort of integrity or legitimacy, so you make that argument, you've got no business arguing that the people pointing to the real source of the sewage, the pipe where the sewage is flying out, that you people are saying we should be scooping up with a dustpan, until you can demonstrate that there's an inaccuracy in identifying that source, the DNA, a reproducing piece of chemistry some 3 billion or whatever years ago. Until you do that, you have nothing. All you have is a waggy, naggy, irrelevant perversion of the truth finger. That's all you got. You're nothing about being serious. You're about being a propagandist. Period. All right, so back to the free will thing. There's lots of metaphors, how we fall into traps of identity. There's personality types, people on different missions, but it does happen to us. We're sort of raised to be pitchers, our batters, hitters, our catchers, our outfielders, or whatever the thing. We sort of get programmed with talents, specialities, ways of being, ways of living, and that's our skill set. So just like we have programmed talents, like some people can tap dance. They learn how to tap dance. They learn how to mechanically move their body in that way. And it's no longer a conscious effort. It's a subconscious program they run. Their body does it. I mean, I can juggle 3 things. Yeah, so you do a little practicing, you get some muscle memory, and you're a juggler. Well, the same thing's happening on the input side. We are habituating our brain, and it's gaining a memory, a functionality that's, how you doing? That it starts playing over and over and over again. It becomes a theme inside of our brain. We're tap dancing, or we're juggling, or we're, walking on a ball, or we learn little mental tricks. And some of those tricks just end up being neuroses. Some of them are just bad mental habits, that cripple us and cause us pain and suffering and unpleasantness. and some of us make us disciplined thinkers, careful, responsible, principled. They keep us from drunk driving, or they keep us from doing something else dumb and stupid. So we all have those, and they're just little programs, little subroutines, all running. And the idea is to find the best human subroutines, the best little bits of juggling and tap dancing, and try to convey that talent, that way of thinking, that way of being to these other human beings, so we can all kind of dance in the same direction and maybe get something done. Yeah, that's a metaphor. That's not a great one, but it'll have to do. An analogy, whatever. I guess it's a metaphor, but it's made up. Yeah, something like that anyway. But anyway, yeah, so way too much of a video, but whatever. I guess I'm back. I had a whole 36-hour vacation or something. But anyway, it'll have to do. Doesn't really matter. See you all next time.